Touring is too much fun to stop. Touring is hard on the body. Some of you may have seen my recent announcement that I'm taking Super Sexy Heartbreak out on the road in the UK for 8 dates this autumn. If you are based in the UK or feel like visiting, I would love for you to join me for the evening. It's going to be a very special run of shows. I've assembled an amazing band to play the full record, and I'll also be performing a solo acoustic set to open. Now, much of the discussion around streaming and artist compensation these days, or lack thereof, is paired with, but musicians make money on tour. Making money on tour is seen as the compensation, and some do indeed make a lot of money, particularly if you have a good line of merch to sell. But touring for artists at any level also involves a great deal of expense and risk, and when you're shouldering the burden yourself as an independent artist, it can get scary. Adam Neely has put out a few amazing videos on the brutal reality of touring, which I highly recommend. It's a surprisingly easy way to lose a lot of money, and in a recent article in The Guardian titled "The Shocking Truth About Money Bands Make on Tour," David Martin, Chief Executive Officer of the Featured Artists Coalition, FAC, calls our current situation a cost of touring crisis. David Martin has said, "Playing live is becoming financially unsustainable. Artists are seeing playing live as a loss leader now. That's if they can even afford to make it work in the first place." Several musicians interviewed in the piece shared their tour budgets, and almost all came out at a loss. Every cost associated with touring is rising and rising steeply. Many people would go, "Oh, Mary, you're a huge deal. You have 750,000 subscribers. Surely you'll be playing Wembley Stadium. It'll be easy." The reality, not so much. An online following doesn't necessarily translate to getting people to give up their evening. A relationship with an audience goes both ways. If you, as the artist, are expecting them to travel or get a train or a babysitter, you have to really offer them something of worth. You can't just expect them to camp out and scream hysterically when you take to the stage. I recognise that for many people as well, my music is in the background of the talkie-talkie videos. My songs are not everyone's cup of tea, but I have a small and relatively dedicated fan base around the world, and about half my views come from the USA, and then it's divided up into Canada, the UK, Germany, Australia, and France, and so on. Practically, it's easiest for me to tour the UK first rather than the US in this moment, which is so much bigger and more complicated in terms of visas, travel, local knowledge, and so on. I am proud of my album and want to take those songs out on the road in my home country.
You can have Chicago back just for a little while, just for a little while. I'll come back in style. There's a church down the hill from me. There's a church up the hill from you. It's a good thing you went back. Are you happy that I'm sad? Do you know we never ran our course?
I'm not playing particularly big venues between 200 and 400 capacity for just 8 dates. As ticket sales currently go, I'm running at a big loss. The absolute basics, hiring musicians, rehearsal time, travel, van hire, accommodation, per diem, food and drink, all adds up very quickly, even for just 2 weeks on the road. And for 7 people, that's me, the band, tour manager and merch seller, it's round about £25,000. No one is going to be sleeping overnight sat upright in a van on my tour. We are all in our mid-30s, professional musicians, and not quite as resilient as we used to be.
Sleep in the van.
So these are all the costs that don't even include any promotion, which is a pretty important component, because if a band plays and there's no one in the audience to hear it, does it even count as a show? And I'm not too worried about sales just yet, because I still have 4 months to ramp up my marketing efforts. But how do you promote a show in 2024? Word of mouth, digital, print? Conventional wisdom tells you to take out paid social media advertising, hire a PR to get you on slots on blogs, local radio, flyer, and so on, you can see the money quickly draining away, and every penny or cent spent makes it harder to break even, let alone make a profit. And I've always stressed about the smart move of building your own direct connection with your audience rather than relying on third-party services. A newsletter, a YouTube channel, these are the best ways to speak directly to your fans. But how do you reach those who haven't signed up to your mailing list or watched your tour announcement video? The answer? Well, I don't actually know. This is my first headline tour in 6 years. I've played one-off shows here and there since. I've been a support act, but I've never done this many shows as the main attraction. I am not a know-it-all guru, sharing my behind-the-scenes industry secrets. And that is where you come in. Many of you watching have had long careers in music at all levels, and I am not too proud to admit that I need your help, both in spreading the word and hopefully attending a show, but in letting me know your own experiences of touring, promoting, and performing. They'll not only form part of my own tour promotion strategy, but I'll make a follow-up video with a collection of the best advice and what worked for me so that others can learn too. And if you're not a musician with touring experience, you still have a vital role to play. How do you find out about local shows in your area? Venue mailing lists? Do you pay attention to Facebook ads? Or do you get your news from flyers in a record shop, the radio, or bands in town? I have no doubt that this tour is going to be a wonderful experience regardless. I'm playing in Liverpool's Cavern, St George's in Bristol, London's beautiful Bush Hall, Birmingham's Castle and Falcon, St Luke's in Glasgow, the Broodnell in Leeds, the Portland Arms in Cambridge, and one of my favourite small venues, the Southampton Joiners. I used to go there a lot as a teenager, so it really means the world to play there. There is a ticket link in the description below, and if you're not able to make it, please share my music with just one of your friends that you think will like it. And if you're keen for more Tales from the Road, I really recommend Why Am I Doing This?, a 2021 film about touring directed by Eric Fundingsland. If you've ever played to an empty room or slept on the floor of a friendly fan, then this is the film for you. It's definitely van life rather than tour bus. Contributors include the late great Steve Albini and members of Melvins, Sun and Police Teeth. Despite the war stories, the love of touring shines through. These people are tightly bonded from their experiences, and you get the feeling they wouldn't have it any other way. It's just available on YouTube, and I loved it. But anyway, I can't wait to see your response to this video. But of course, I'll be seeing you here again very, very soon.